Happening now, the controversial online streamer known as Chud the Builder is making an appearance in a Nashville courtroom. Dalton Etherly faces 3 misdemeanor charges stemming from a May incident at Bob's Steak and Chop House inside the Omni Hotel. Investigators say Etherly live streamed inside the restaurant after staff asked him not to, then refused to pay. Etherly also faces separate felony charges in Montgomery County for a shooting investigation. During Etherly's court appearance, one investigator on the stand recalled the shooting.
Shots are shown being fired prior to them hitting the ground.
Shots are being shown to have been fired prior to that?
Yes.
And how do we know that?
I can see, or in the courthouse video, it shows the casing ejecting from the firearm. It also shows the ricochet off the concrete planter.
Okay.
Prior to them hitting the ground.
So Mr. Fox hadn't been hit at that point, correct? You're seeing a ricochet in one casing.
I would assume so.
The judge denied Etherly's release today, citing violent posts he's made on social media. Etherly is also facing a $1 million bond in the Montgomery County case.
All right, what's going on, man? We're in here. We're in here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tap In. Round of applause to you. Round of applause to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Tap In. It's the late night Tap In, and we're ready to chop up great game, as we always do, ladies and gentlemen. You guys give me a nice retweet. Let everybody know that we are indeed live. Everybody give me a retweet, ladies and gentlemen. And before I get started, let me shout out some of the regulars in here. Real quickly, I see Malcolm, the mayor, FBA Law. I see Miss Willa in here, Panamera. I see Liam. I see Layla. I see Aztec. I see Morning Dew. Let me see. I see Rashonda in the building. Miss Rashonda. I see Nikki the God in the building. The legendary Tethinator. Grinds TV in the building. Respect to the family. And who else do we see? Rashonda. I see you, Miss Rashonda. Respect to you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And again, let everybody know we're live. Let everybody know that we're live right now. Before we get started, don't forget, everybody, go to Hidden History Museum. Everybody make a contribution to the Hidden History Museum. Make a weekly contribution, make a monthly contribution, but contribute to the Hidden History Museum, our own FBA institution, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to get your Rootwork deodorant at rootworkstyle.com, ladies and gentlemen, rootworkstyle.com. First thing we got to talk about, and shout out to everybody coming in the room. We got a couple of hundred people here within the first 30 seconds, so that's a beautiful thing. First thing we got to talk about, Chud the Bussy. We got to talk about Chud the Builder. He had a hearing today, and this was a hearing that took place in Davidson County. This was the case. You know, he's still locked up for the attempted murder. Today's hearing was tied to the previous misdemeanor charge where he faced in Davidson County. That was theft of service and disorderly conduct, where he went into that Nashville steakhouse and caused a disorder. He was released on $1,000 bond under the conditions that he avoid any new arrests. So he clearly violated the release conditions when he was arrested on May 13th. That was May 13th, for shooting Joshua Fox. That was a disabled Black veteran. Shot him outside of the courthouse. It was very interesting. Today, one of the investigators presented some new surveillance footage from that May 13th shooting. He said that the video captures Chud firing at the Black man before any physical attack occurred. Now, that evidence is another major blow to Etherly's legal defense. It challenges that whole claim of self-defense, which we knew it wasn't self-defense. It was an ambush. So the ruling was the judge citing Chud's behavior and his social media activity and his violation of previous bond conditions. The judge, it was another judge, Blackburn, she revoked his bond entirely. So because of this ruling, Chud is going to remain in bars, behind bars, while that Montgomery County attempted murder case continues. So, like I said, the problem with Chud was that he overcalculated. The problem was he put too many white people in danger. So they cannot let him out. I knew they were going to revoke his bond at one point. All the white supremacists are trying to raise money to get him up out of there. No, he put too many white people at risk. He's way too reckless. He can't do self-defense. When he tried to do that shit on the courthouse steps, there's no defense for that. But understand something. Listen, this is a calculated racial ambush. Let's look at the actual evidence. Again, they said Chud fired before any contact happened. That proves it was never about self-preservation. It was a pre-planned racial ambush. All right? These white supremacists, like Chud and many others, they're actively orchestrating these encounters where they can execute black people in broad daylight using the guise of an altercation to cover their tracks. And what they try to do, they try to weaponize legal codes. See, they're not just acting recklessly, they're studying and they're weaponizing the legal system and the common law system. They know that self-defense and stand your ground laws, they have been historically skewed to protect the dominant white society. They know it doesn't work. Those laws are not for us. So they know this and they intentionally exploit these legal loopholes to legitimize their targeted anti-black violence. See, the system has already given the Chud, the Builders, and the Austin Metcalfs. Oh, yeah, I'm going there too. They've given them a green light because there's a very dangerous precedent that's been set now. We see case after case where black people are shot in the back, ambushed from behind, choked from behind, actively retreating. Yet the legal system will still bend over backwards to label these killings as self-defense. And these people are banking on receiving that same type of systemic protection because there's an unspoken common law of white supremacy. There's the law written on books. Then there's the unspoken common law. That's the law that y'all need to understand. The law that they don't write down anymore. I always talk about this because, see, the white supremacists try to cover their tracks. What kind of laws are discriminatory now? Can you show me some laws on the books that discriminates? Everything is equal on the book. But you practice things through common law. You better understand how common law works, how white supremacy works. And this is where the power of white supremacy comes in. They have unspoken codes now. It's so locked and ingrained into the society, they don't have to overtly say it anymore. You understand? It's like a wink and a nod. We know what this law says on paper, but we know how we're going to enforce it. Wink, wink, wink. That's how they get you. That's why the great Neely Fuller taught us about having a code. We have to have a counter-racism code that we live by daily. That's the main reason why Dr. Neely Fuller, I keep calling him doctor, he wasn't technically a doctor, but he was a doctor and an expert on counter-racism narratives. He really spoke about the significance of us having a code of conduct where everything doesn't have to be overtly said. It's just the way you act and conduct things as far as empowerment and protecting yourself as Black people. But the dominant society, they have a code. Any form of violence committed by a white person against a Black person is automatically deemed justified. And see, within that framework, the mere existence or proximity of a Black person is treated as a lethal threat. that warrants a lethal response. This goes into what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing taught us about how just our existence is deadly to the white supremacists because us procreating with them could wipe them out. You understand? She broke this down very beautifully in her book, The ISIS Papers. So this is why everything that they do to us, it's justified because we are a weapon. We are a living, breathing weapon no matter what we do. And see what the white supremacists like to do, they like to manufacture the fear defense. The playbook is very transparent. You goad us, you harass us, antagonize us. You see a black person in a public space, you antagonize them, and if there's a reaction, you deploy lethal force or call in law enforcement to do the lethal force for you. They do ambush by police. This is why they always call the cops on us. Remember up there in Ohio, a brother in Walmart just shopping, a white supremacist called the cops and said that he was pointing a gun. They just came in and blasted the brother. Same thing with Tamir Rice. They say, hey, there's a kid playing in the park with a gun. They just came and blasted a damn 12-year-old kid. So they know that cops can't do that like that no more, which they can, but not to the level that they used to, because now this is bankrupting a lot of coffers from different cities. Now they got to pay out these families. That becomes very costly. Now they still do it now, but it's a little more costly. So they have to get the vigilantes to do the dirty work for them. And they get the Chud the builders to run out here talking about they feared for their lives after they antagonize people. And then what they do, they incentivize this anti-black violence. See, we're dealing with a subculture that turns racial terror into a spectator sport. Like people like Chud and others, they're financially incentivized and compensated. So they got these streams where they bring in money. They start harassing black people and open up a GoFundMe. You call a black child the N-word, and then you get $1 million. And so it's getting very deep out here. It's getting very deep out here. They're being financially incentivized. They're monetizing this stuff. And then they have this systemic shield of the courts. They're emboldened to pull the trigger before a physical attack even materializes because they expect the justice system to act as their personal shield. They move with the confidence that judges and prosecutors and juries will basically validate their fear no matter how aggressive or unprovoked their own actions were. That's what we saw with Kyle Damn Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse did everything illegal from top to bottom. Went across state lines with an illegal gun, premeditated. He's on video saying that he wants to shoot protesters. Kyle has a whole history of that stuff. And when he went to court, what happened? The judge acted like his damn defense attorney. The judge, the media, everybody coddled Kyle Rittenhouse. They treated him like a big baby. They coddled him literally. And all of them got on code. The courts, law enforcement, the media, the political apparatus, all of them got on code. They didn't start digging up the videos of Kyle doing real foul shit, beating up on girls and stuff like that. We were pointing all that stuff out. They sat here and played right along with it and let him get on the stand and do that fake, horrible acting cry he did. So that sends a message to the white supremacists out there. And that's another thing. When Kyle was out there with the Proud Boys throwing up those white supremacist hand signals, the legacy media really downplayed that. The left and the right wing media downplayed that. They're two wings on the same bird, by the way. But understand, we got to analyze all of this stuff from a very strategic standpoint. This isn't an isolated incident that's happening with Chud. This is very coordinated. This is a strategy to bait black people into lethal situations. We got to recognize that the legal threshold for self-defense is damn near non-existent when the target is black. You understand? And again, I keep talking about the Chud case. The only reason they're going after Chud and taking away the bail and all that is because where he tried that ambush. He tried it on a courthouse lawn. There's zero justification for that. He shouldn't have been there with a gun in the first place. The brother he had a court date. See, they can't try to pull the brother shouldn't have been there and all that. The brother had a court date. There's no way to justify what Chud did at all. They saw that Chud fired on that brother before a physical contact happened. This was a straight up and down ambush. Plus, looking at Chud's premeditated tweets, the man said what he was going to do. So it is real hard to justify that. You understand? And this is why we have to understand the Carmelo case as well, how that ties in. See, with the Carmelo case, people keep talking about, yeah, Carmelo should have just did a fair fight. Why didn't Carmelo just fight with his hands? See, that you can't be naive to racial encounters and how they operate today. Hostile white supremacist suspects instigating a physical altercation with a black person, they're not looking for a traditional fist fight. Understand white supremacy. White supremacists don't fight fair. When do they fight fair? The only time they step to you is when they know they got some weird disadvantage over your ass. Just like Chud. Chud was running around here trying to ambush people, knowing, goading people and yelling the N word, knowing he's going to ambush them. They don't fight fair. And Carmelo understood that. You understand? These people, you got multiple people standing over you trying to go and harassing you and putting their hands on you. What the hell are you supposed to do? You can't fight all them people and you're smaller than all of them. So Carmelo did what he needed to do to neutralize the threat and get out of there. You understand? They want to manufacture a physical struggle so they can immediately escalate to some type of legal force against a lethal force against you and then claim self-defense. You see? A black person being accosted and assaulted by somebody in the dominant white society, you have to defend yourself by all means because they'll unalive your ass and then claim self-defense. So no, 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 no. You don't sit around and just let yourself get off by these people. And shout out to the brother who fought Chud. Remember, the brother got ambushed by Chud and still whooped Chud's ass. You understand? That brother got ambushed. He got shot a couple of times and still beat the brakes off Chud. Family, let me explain something. Black people, you have zero obligation to accept the bait. Black people, you're not under no obligation to play Russian roulette with your lives to satisfy the dominant society's hypocritical ass rules of engagement. If an aggressive stranger violently violates your personal space and put their hands on you, you're not required to just go into some hand-to-hand combat like this is a goddamn Rambo movie. And just to find out they got a firearm tucked in their waistband or some other mob waiting to jump in and unalive you from the side or whatever. No, you defend yourself how you need to defend yourself. You understand? It's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And look at Carmelo. He was continuously harassed, surrounded, grabbed, and assaulted by the son of a white supremacist who felt entitled to dictate his presence and put hands on him. And white supremacists, they weaponize that exact type of aggressive entitlement to escalate encounters. It never stops. When people say, well, why didn't Carmelo just walk away? Okay, then you walk to the next spot, then the next white supremacist come and tell you to do something. It never stops. Everywhere we go, there's a white supremacist trying to tell us what to do or question why we are where we're supposed to be. Carmelo wasn't obligated to get up and go anywhere. That Metcalf didn't control no tent. He didn't control no benches. This is why it never stops, ladies and gentlemen. And I see Sambos out here with Carmelo's get you to left. Oh, you were a Sambo. You were a scared Sambo. All right. Most likely a tether. But yeah, if we accept that, it never stops, ladies and gentlemen. We see Karen videos all the time. If we're in our own apartment complex, there's some Karen like, hey, do you live here? Where do you live? Let me see your ID. Like, what? Lady, get out of my face. I'm going to call the cops if I don't see your ID. It never stops, ladies and gentlemen. It never stops. That's why we have to support our brother Carmelo. He didn't do anything wrong. He was exercising his rights. You are a Sambo if you are against what Carmelo did. He did the ultimate form of self-defense. He did absolutely nothing wrong. You understand? You neutralize the unknown threat, and that is survival. He was justified in neutralizing an active, escalating threat. When an aggressor ignores warnings, physically attacks you, you don't have the luxury of waiting to see if this is going to turn into a lethal ambush against you. There's too many chuds out here. These people are actively instigating encounters so they can unalive Black people and then claim self-defense. Carmelo reacted to a physical attack because he understood the unspoken rule. If you let an ambush play out, he would have been the victim. And that attacker would have been claiming self-defense. And white supremacists would have been running around here talking about, yeah, they had to defend themselves from him. So stop being scared of speaking up for justice. Y'all raise your hand. Let me get some of the family in here. Everybody raise your hand. Let me talk to the family. Because I'm seeing way too many scared Negroes whining about Carmelo he shouldn't have did all that. He know he wrong. Y'all, if you're scared, say you're scared. And it's okay to be scared. If you are scared, say you're scared. Let me get Queen Mother Empress up here. Queen Mother Empress from Detroit. What's up, Queen Mother Empress? How are you, beloved?
That the moon is in our sign of Cancer.
Yes.
Let me cook a little bit with you. I want to
Yes,
put
ma'am.
you up on some game.
Mm-hmm.
The other night, you were talking to this gentleman that claimed he is from Italian. That was nothing but Peter. He has a lot of scam pages, and I was trying to get up to let you know this is an outright stalker. And he
Mm.
can't handle when he kept saying, are you going to answer the question? And you keep going around it. That was Peter, just so
Oh.
we know for
Mm-hmm.
future reference. That's that asshole. But I want to bring something on yeah, he's an asshole. I don't like him. And if he don't like it, he can kiss Detroit's ass.
Yeah,
Um, let me put something in perspective from a spiritual standpoint, my gorgeous brother.
yes, ma'am.
With this being the year of the horse, understand that horse in China is Gemini, and that energy is sporadic. You cannot trust it, you cannot contain it. This is a year, everything that's did hidden behind doors, secret deals is going to be exposed. And when it gets exposed, it's going to show a higher power of fraud.
Mm.
So Carmelo case is going to draw a couple attentions on the following. Number one, you know the old cliche, it's not who you know in life, it's not what you know, but who you know
Right.
in life. And the bait was fixed from the start. The fact that this gentleman couldn't get a fair trial, you're going to put an all white jury. He's going to be the historic figure that we need to come together as foundational Black Americans to make sure going forth in the future that it should never be an all white jury when it comes to foundational Black
Right.
Americans. It should be a minimum of at least 6 that is foundational to give a proper balance. This is just starting because it's in June. Remember, Mercury is getting ready to go retrograde into Cancer. And with it going into Cancer, it's going to bring out revenge like never before. Camelo is definitely going to get the last laugh. But before he gets the last laugh, it's going to show all the serpents that's been around him as a child, as the family, like fake Charleston White, that's a lion ass kissing Sambo.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to expose all of this corruption. And we need to, I agree with you, make that part of Texas known as a discriminative town that you cannot get no justice. Are you noticing, brother, you gave prophecy on this?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh.
because both of us have cancer. It's our season. You gave prophecy on something, Brother Tariq. Everyone is delineating, and we are removing ourselves from putting money in the hands of those that unalive us. Those days is over with. It's not a boycott, it's redirecting our dollars as power. And these people are highly pissed about it. And what they're pissed about hasn't even started. When it boomerangs, you're going to see many people lose their business, and they're going to start unaliving themselves because they know what they did. They keep
Mm-hmm.
mentioning you. Little did you know, on TikTok in a disrespectful demeanor. And I'm chopping the heads with the liars because they jealous that you've been able to properly articulate and prophesy. Now let's get to the final part. You in gambling. While this is in your season, when the moon is in Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo, Taurus, you will kick ass every day, all day. You gonna dog walk it. Your swagger is very on point, and it's impeccable, and it cannot be matched. That's why they can't stand you. So what? Detroit love you. We got your back, support you 1,000%. But I'm giving the prophecy, we gonna get the last laugh, and it's going back to 1966 under the year of the fire horse. When 1967, you seen Detroit was the first city and state that started the all right wars, and chaos got started here, the riots. It's going back to that in 2027 because that'll be the year of the fire sheep. Sheep in Cancer in China is Cancer, but it's not going to give mercy. It's coming to pay revenge. My question to you, brother, what can we do to make sure that this is not just a temporary phase? Many speculate it's only going to be 30 to 90 days. I say if we continue with this, like Dr. King did, he showed us we can withhold our funds for a year and shut it all down of these suspected white supremacists because now they got too much to say. What would you recommend for us to do? Not just not going into beauty supply stores or their filthy, unclean restaurants, but overall, when it comes to the Hispanics as well as the Asians, because they seem to be too brave and too bold in their disrespect, and then want to pretend, well, I didn't do anything. It's a few of us that's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you sat back and seen this child that was 14 years old be unalive. Did you just see the little boy that just got murdered at the Walmart, and he wasn't but a year old? It's getting ready to be a turn up summer
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in violence.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know your take on that, brother, and bring me up more often. Instead of hearing these stupid white supremacists, when you don't want to be bothered, bring me up and let me do some reading. It's time to get the Majara spirit working, because it's ass kicking time
Yes,
spiritually,
ma'am.
and you better see them lose.
Go ahead, Finish. Go ahead, finish, beloved.
Yeah, so I want to make sure that anytime you have these low life, lack of phallus having white supremacists popping up, pull Detroit on up. I got your back because I ain't backing
Yes,
down.
ma'am.
I'm not backing down at
Yes, ma'am.
all. It's time out for us having to be on the lower totem pole. We always, for the last 100 years, is only 10%, 12%, 14%. You know, that's bullshit, because if that was only our population, why are these people getting mad in every 30 seconds on Instagram, every 30 seconds on TikTok, talking about us not wanting to spend money with them when they're selling us garbage? You don't even see them eat out of their own
Mm.
restaurants.
Yeah.
When you don't see a person eat out of their own restaurant, why are you going to eat any uh, orange pepper chicken and it ain't nothing but cooked up cats and
Yeah.
rats? Come on now, that's some tether class
Yes, ma'am.
bullshit. Let's keep it real, brother. Food is something you don't play about, just like hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
If the sisters will give a break in buying this cheap quality of hair that's done once had lice on it, that they have to treat it with chemicals to stop them from infesting the hair, where they do rituals on it over in India, we can take back our power, because whatever is up on top of your head, if it had rituals done on it, it's going to curse your life and curse your health.
Mm.
Come on, let's talk to
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
We got to take back that.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Empress, I thank you so much, beloved. Sister Empress in the building. Respect to Sister Empress. Thank
Real work for you. Nah, then else will do. I got that rule work for you. And reservations for two. Rule work for you. Nothing else will do. I got that rule work for you. And reservations for two. I got that rule work for you. Nothing else will do. I got that rule work for you. And reservations for two. Stepped out clean, I'm fresh out the door. Natural scent, but it's hitting like more. Confidence high, got me walking real slow. Every move got a vibe, let it flow. Cut your eyes from across the room. You smile back, yeah, you felt it too. Ain't no pressure, just energy speaking. But you leaning in like you been seeking. I ain't gotta say much, you can feel that glow. It's deeper than the surface, it's something in my soul. From the roots to the skin, yeah, it's all aligned. Now you right here vibing in my time.